What's up, guys? Welcome to this video here on Elvis is the Man. Now, I want to cover this topic that a lot of people have theories on, and this is talked a lot in the Elvis community as to why didn't Elvis ever achieve the goal that he set out to in being a serious actor when he first started out in 1956. Now, there's some good reason for this, and a lot of it makes logical sense. So let me go with my theory on this matter. From 1956 to 1958, Elvis got a lot of good scripts. Okay, he had a lot of singing roles, and Elvis didn't want to sing in the movies. He wanted to be like James Dean and Marlon Brando, a serious actor, one that was like respected in Hollywood. So he actually wanted to do that a little more than being a singer, believe it or not. So from 1956 to 1958, Elvis starred in Love Me Tender, Loving You. In 1958, Jailhouse Rock, and King Creole. King Creole was actually Elvis's favorite movie that he starred in. Okay, it was actually my favorite movie also. The script was just phenomenal. Yeah, he sang in King Creole and Jailhouse Rock, Love Me Tender a little, and Loving You. But the scripts were very, very good. Okay, we can all agree on that. Elvis's 50 movies were just high quality with high quality actors. Now, something changed after Elvis went into the Army. From 1958 to 1960, Elvis went into the Army, and he came out March 1960. He started a movie, not too long thereafter. The first movie after Elvis got out of the Army was G.I. Blues. There was a lot of singing in that movie, a lot, and that was the first Elvis movie that was somewhat corny. I mean, the script wasn't horrible. It wasn't like some of his other movies that really got to be pretty bad in the 60s that Elvis hated. He said that he hated his movies so much that it actually made him physically sick. He said there's nothing worse than watching a bad movie unless you're actually starring in it. So when Elvis read the script for G.I. Blues and saw all the songs that were going to be in there, he was complaining to Colonel and actually complaining to some of his friends. Like, he said that he felt like an idiot that he would just break out into a song singing to a girl on a train. Elvis wasn't, corny like that, but they put him in corny movies, corny scripts, just to fill up a soundtrack album full of songs. And most of the songs in the 60s were not very good. Yeah, he had some that, like Viva Las Vegas was good. Can't Help Falling in Love was good. Return to Sender was very good. Rockahula Baby wasn't bad. Some catchy numbers, and some of them actually became, big hits for Elvis, ones that we remember. But most of them were mediocre, to say the least, to put it in like a good way. So when Elvis got the script for G.I. Blues, he complained to the Colonel about this, and Colonel reassured him, hey, don't worry about it, we'll get better scripts. And Elvis did get better scripts. Like I said, Elvis wanted to be a serious actor. So the 50s were good. G.I. Blues right after the Army was not so good. It was a little corny, you have to admit. Even though it was fun, it wasn't what Elvis wanted. He didn't want to do travelogues just singing to people randomly. He wanted some serious, something he can sink his teeth into. So Elvis did get a chance twice in 1960 and 61. He did two serious movies with very limited songs, so there wasn't much for a soundtrack. One was Wild in the Country and Flaming Star, which are two of my favorite Elvis movies. I actually prefer Elvis as a serious actor. The only problem is, even though Elvis acted very well in those movies, they didn't do very well. So the fans didn't go to support those type of movies like they did G.I. Blues. Okay, so, the producers, they were a little discouraged. Colonel was discouraged. They wanted to make money, where Elvis wanted to pursue his dreams of being a serious actor. Now, I don't know why, the movies didn't do so well. I mean, King Creole was serious. That did great, and it had some more songs. Maybe it was the scripts for Wild in the Country or Flaming Star that didn't particularly interest the Elvis fans at the time. But whatever the reason was, they didn't draw like the other movies Elvis drew. So in 1961, the next movie was Blue Hawaii, and that was a travelogue. He was in Hawaii. They had a full album of songs, and there were some good songs in there, like Can't Help Falling in Love, Rockahula Baby, which I mentioned. And but there are also a lot of, pretty corny ones that Elvis didn't like. Well, Blue Hawaii was an extremely successful movie and a very successful soundtrack. So there was no turning back at that. They tried with some serious stuff and it just didn't do well. Blue Hawaii became an instant smash with a very successful soundtrack, like I said, to match it. The Colonel actually was quoted in saying, talking about Elvis's movies, that they'll never win an Academy Award. All they're good for is to make money. And yeah, you want to follow the success, and if it's not broke, don't fix it. But that's not what Elvis wanted. If you listen to some of Elvis's interviews that he did in the early 60s, he would always, be very optimistic that, I think I will make it as a serious actor. Although he wasn't doing serious movies, that's what he wanted. He was optimistic, saying, I think it's going to work out. I know that I'll make it as a more dramatic artist. But, as the 60s went on, even the fans started to fall off because Elvis just, started to do more and more, travelogues, really what they were. Elvis would just be, a singing doctor or a singing race car driver, anything to fill an album, because they knew that an Elvis movie would just be successful no matter what. So why, tinker with these scripts, make them simple, and, we don't have to put a lot of money into it. And Elvis often complained that, they're making money off my movies, so they can put that money that was made from my movies into a more artistic role, like I wanted to make, like Beckett or something like that. So Elvis was very discouraged. But I'll give Elvis credit, and I think you all agree with me, that Elvis was in a lot of bad movies, but they were enjoyable enough. And just like some people say the jumpsuits were kind of gaudy and silly, but Elvis pulled it off. I don't think you can put any other actor in the type of movies that he was in, particularly from like the mid-60s on, and have it be as entertaining as Elvis made it to be. There's a quote from director Hal Cantor, and he said, and this is so true, he says, "There was a great deal more to the man than what appeared, particularly in later films. His talent was obvious because even in the long-lasting grasp of poor material, Elvis somehow made it work. He made it last," and that's true. Elvis had so much charisma and talent that he made it work. But eventually, he had to change course, and we know that happened with the 68 special. But I just want to, give you my rundown of why I think Elvis never actually was able to do the roles that he was able to do. It's just because they didn't make money. And, so the Colonel and other, directors like Hal Wallace and that, just was like, hey, let's follow the money. And this is Elvis. An Elvis movie is a sure thing in Hollywood. So unfortunately, Elvis wasn't able to really achieve his goal. But even in some of the more sillier scripts, maybe like, for instance, Follow the Dream, where he was in the courtroom, pleading his case. Elvis shows some serious acting chops. So I'm interested to hear what you guys think on this topic. Comment down below and tell me what you think. If you've enjoyed this video, hit the like button. It helps to grow and expand the channel. Subscribe if you haven't already. I put up a lot of videos on Patreon, videos up there that I can't necessarily put on YouTube. Check that out. The link is in the description. Also, I have a Bible page and a fitness channel. Check those out as well. We'll talk to you guys next time. The links to all these are in the description of this video. Talk to you next time.